I didn't enjoy any of the fights in it.
Tank Davis versus Frank Martin.
I think Loma Tank makes sense to do next.
Then it probably makes sense to get one or them against Barinchik.
He's not a big enough name.
Well, Gvozdyk came out quite strong as well.
He has got great body shots. He's got a good jab. He has got fast hands.
Paro won the first few rounds.
I think Paro's footwork was absolutely superb.
Chris Phillips-Smith and Richard react for it.
It was one of the worst fights I've seen in a long, long time.
Welcome back to BoxCast. Today we're going to discuss the busy weekend of boxing, Simon.
Yeah.
And guests. Should we start with the main fight? Tank Davis versus Frank Martin.
Yeah.
I just say I got it right.
The Tank is back.
I know Tank better than Tank knows himself. He said round 9. I said round 8 KO.
I think I said round 4.
Yeah.
Been out a while, Annie.
Yeah.
I think he admitted he had a bit of ring
Well, he
rust
did
at the
start slowly. I think. What did you give Martin about the first 6 rounds?
Yeah, I think I give him the first 6 actually.
I think most people did. I give him about 5.
5. All changed in the 7th.
Yeah.
It's got that destructive power, Annie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that uppercut nearly took his head off, followed by that left hand. He's just...
He's efficient and accurate, isn't it? It's the time and the accuracy and the thing, isn't it? All of them together with the power.
And he can take a punch.
Yeah. He's got a good chin. He's quite robust.
I mean, Martin did really well.
Yeah.
But just... It's like... Tanky remind me like a bit Canelo-y. Just like...
Well, he's got that confidence,
I'm
isn't
just
it?
going to walk you
walk you down.
And then when I decide to, I'm going to knock you out.
Yeah.
I think he'll be back in the ring soon again. I think he realised that the layoff.
I don't think it was all his doing, but not all in his control, shall we say. So less said it better. But yeah, I think they've got to make the fights, isn't it? In this division, we've always said, and it's a strong division at the moment. There's a few names. And it really needs to happen now before some of them are way too far over the hill. Obviously, he's coming into his prime, isn't he? The Shakur Stevenson coming up to that level.
I mean, that's a fight, that is, isn't it? Jeez.
Well, I think that one or other of them is going to fight. They're trying to make one or other of them against Loma. Then it probably makes sense to get one or other of them against Barinchik, but although nobody's talking about that at the moment, or I haven't seen it.
He's not a big enough name.
Yeah. Well, the 3 names are the others.
He's a big enough name in terms of, your boxing diehard fans that know that really follow boxing. He's good, but he's not big enough for the...
He's not as big as the other 3.
No.
I know, especially Tank is like where he is, and Loma has obviously his name, and Shakur's the up-and-coming name, so there's 3 of them there that are the big names. But, I mean, yeah, they need to meet it, but there's talk of Loma against either of them. I've seen some about Shakur and some about Tank. Tank said it as well, that let me finish, or let me deal with Martin first, and then we'll look at those things.
Yeah, and I think, he's done well against Martin. Like I say, you always knew he was going to come into that second half of the fight anyway.
Well, you thought he was going to start earlier.
Well, no, I thought...
I did allow for the ring rust. I thought he was going to start
to be honest, that's why I thought he might just come out all guns blazing and try and get him out. But no, he took his time.
I think he's a bit like Crawford. He takes a little bit of time to work you out, time you, isn't it? Because he doesn't like throw loads of punches.
Yeah, but he also wore him down as well. He was making him work constantly.
Yeah. I think that's the thing some casuals miss is the amount of, these champions make you mental work. It's
non-stop. Work.
The feints, the little moves, the things, the body movements. It's just relentless. And that's what wears the people down. It's the mental side of the thing. Because they're both in great shape. Martin looked in fantastic shape.
Do you know what? Martin can come back as well. There's no... he did really well. He can definitely come back. He caused a lot of people problems. He really would. But Tank's elite, isn't he? Does anyone in the division beat him? There's a debate.
Yeah. I think maybe for another time. But I think against... But you've got 3, isn't it, there, who are really good. And and Barinchik as well.
You've got
to do a because he's unbeaten. And there's 3 of them unbeaten.
The thing is he needs a name, Barinchik.
He needs to take one of them out to get that.
Not just... Status. No, he needs to... Even not one of that. He just needs a big name in that division to make a name for himself, if you like. Yeah. Because promotional-wise... He's not I wouldn't say he's a massive ticket seller, you know. For a casual fan, you're going to go, ooh.
Yeah. Well, you won't be able to say his name, but yeah.
Because you are. But if
you know who he is, but like, yeah.
You know, if they go, oh, it's Loma Tank, you're going, yes.
Yeah.
But if you're going...
He's a belt holder, so they've got one or other's got to fight, and it's a tough fight. It's how do you beat Tank, isn't it? You've got to stay away from punches, but he's not just a puncher. He's like the timing, accuracy, and movement. You can take a punch, so it's how you keep him off for that amount of time. It's like the same as like a Canelo, really, unless you're.
That's what I mean.
And size-wise, there's not in it. It's like you only beat Canelo with the size or ridiculous skill.
I just he's so good at what he does. He really, really is, and like I say, he's been out the ring a while. So I'd say himself, he was only 60-70% of his best.
I would expect him to get a little bit better.
Yeah, when he's at his best.
Just in best, yeah.
Wow.
It's tough to see. It's a good performance.
Yeah. And I think he's got that frame as well where he could move up in weight quite easily.
I think he's he looks smaller in stature, but I think he's got that in a way type power, the monster power.
I think
you can carry it, and that's why I think in a way against him, there's lots of people saying it. I think it's too much different in size.
No, it's massive.
In a way, it doesn't need to because it's like a huge.
No,
and it doesn't benefit either of them really because
I'd say
it's just Tank beating a smaller
Tank
guy.
has a couple more fights at this division against Shakur,
I think he's
Loma,
undisputed,
and then he can move up and take on Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia again if he's allowed to fight or whatever.
Isn't Garcia going to 168 to fight Benavidez?
I think
that's a bit ridiculous.
Going in
164 pounds he's saying to fight Benavidez.
Or rehab or prison or wherever he's going to end up. Never land.
I think, if he becomes undisputed in this and he's got the age on his side and they make the fights, then I think, step up. And I think he can... I think it's the two tougher fighters in this division than above. I think Shakur and Loma are both tougher than Teofimo, Haney.
Well, you're a massive Loma fan. Does he beat Loma?
If it was Loma in his prime, I'd be
It's not Loma in his prime.
Exactly,
that
was my point. So at this point, I think it's an extremely... Loma, if there's anybody who's got the skills, I think Loma and Shakur both have the skills. They could keep him at bay for 12 rounds. But have they got enough power to...
You don't think they can do it, do you?
You
can't say it, but I'll say it for you. He doesn't...
Draw Loma and Tank is a draw.
He doesn't think he can do it. I'll say it for you, because I know it'll hurt you to say it. Do you know what? At the three of them, you're most probably saying Loma's the weakest out of the three
because
of
of his
them.
age. Yeah. It's that he's not naturally that weight, although he has got into it now and he took out Kambosos. He makes people quit because it's the same mental thing, isn't it? The pressure and the angles and everything. But you've got in two of them, Shakur and him, that they've got age on the side. They can improve more, and they have got the skills too. And then they've got Tank's definitely got the power, natural power at that size.
Well, Shakur's fighting his knee in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Again. Well, he needs to put on a performance in it because the other two both done it. Loma and Tank have both put on their stamp on the division again and got the belt. He needs to. I mean, I'll let you say his name.
I can't pronounce his name, and I've never...
or something.
I have never, ever heard of him.
I think he's up and coming. He's meant to be quite good. And I don't want to do what we did to our man that we're speaking about later.
You can't say he's up and coming because he's 33 years of age.
Yeah,
he's not up and coming at all. He's had 12 fights and he's lost one against Frank Martin.
Okay, so Shakur has to really clean him out. Yeah, I think Shakur's got to put a performance on. If not, then Tank and Loma are the two biggest. If he can't do something here,
yeah,
he needs to make a statement. I think both Tank and Loma have made statements. They've got the guys out. Both.
Yeah, I think
Loma in his backyard. So I think
Loma Tank makes sense to do next if that's what the route they're going to go down. He might not go down that route. You know, Tank might say, "I want another fight first."
Well, I think it's one or other against Loma, and then the winner out of that against the other guy. Yeah. So if it is going to be Shakur and Loma, Shakur and Tank, I think it's via Loma. And it makes sense because Loma's not really going to fight. There's no point Loma fighting anybody else other than those two guys.
No, I don't think Loma will fight anyone else. And
the only other one is you can unify against Barinchik, but again, if you're both Ukrainian, it doesn't make sense.
He's not going to do that.
You don't want to do that. That doesn't make sense because you've got two belt holders, you want to keep them. So I think it'd be unification against whichever one out of Shakur and Tank they can make, and then the next one.
I'm telling you, the Saudis are going to do a Ukraine
They've got to make it. Well, yeah, that's why we need the two belt holders. While we have
Saudis are going to do Loma versus Tank, Brinchnik versus Shakur, Usyk versus Fury, all on the same card.
Could do. There'd be epic fights.
Ukraine Day. No, I think, like I say, I think Loma will want to fight Tank next, and he'll want to do it soon.
I think it has to because he's only getting older.
Yeah.
And
so he has to do
better,
it now.
So the time is now, really. The next fight would make sense.
And like I say...
And then the winner of them, I think, against Shakur. Assuming Shakur comes through. Because you're a big fan of Shakur.
Yeah, big fan of Shakur.
Well, I've had a few people before all this has gone on saying that Shakur, what you include, but a few others as well who are into the boxing, say Shakur was the guy to watch in that division.
Yeah, but do you know what?
But his last couple of
fights haven't been the best.
Disappointing.
Tank and Loma.
Well, Tank's been out and I think, but obviously he beat Garcia, who was a tough fight, because you can see that. And he stepped up and made a statement. And obviously Frank Martin is a good fighter. He's made a statement. And Loma's come back and made the statement. And fully fit, Loma is fantastic.
And you can't discount Brinchik, whatever his name is.
Brinchik. He's 18 and 19 and 0 now,
yeah, he is a good boxer.
He beat Navarrete, who was the other guy in the thing. That was the other name in the division.
So I'm doing a bit...
Who's a damn good boxer as well.
I'm doing him a bit of discredit by just saying he's not in the conversation. I think on a boxing
level, he's in that equation. I just think on a name level, he isn't in that equation, which is what you said first, isn't it, basically? So,
and like I say, I don't think Loma will fight him.
I wouldn't if I were either of them. It doesn't make sense.
No.
And we like our Ukrainian contingent, so we don't want that to happen. That should be a first one. As an undisputed fight, happy days.
If both went on and unified the division, and then there was an undisputed. Yeah.
Well, I think whichever one Loma gets, I think if it's Tank and Loma, then Brinchik and Shakur makes sense, assuming Shakur gets through his.
Yeah, Shakur's got to get through.
By beating Navarrete, getting a belt. Tank's made his now by beating Frank Martin, who's a good contender in there, and Loma's made his by beating Cambosis, who's the other sort of name in there. In his own backyard, and not just on points, he stopped them. Yeah. So I think they've made their point. I think Shakur needs to make his now, even though he's retired, isn't he?
But they've got to make these big fights,
and then they need to make those fights. So
and they've got to do them by the end of the year.
Yeah.
I think they really, really have. These big
I think Tank, like you said, needs to keep busy.
He does, and
Shakur.
These big promotional companies, the launching that was on Amazon Prime and things. If you want people watching, you've got to put these big fights on because
you got to have content.
Yeah, because the likes of Queensbury and Matchroom and things like that, the fight cards they're putting on, they're next level.
Well, to be fair, and I think this is probably a good point to stop on this and go to the next fight, was the undercard or sort of co-main, well, it's not really co-main fight, is Benavidez and Gvozdyk, another Ukrainian, who gave a good account on this. Let me see, what predictions did we make on this one?
Said there'd be a surprise, and there wasn't.
No. You had Gvozdyk for round 11 KO, and I had Benavidez on points.
Yeah.
So just put that out there.
I think I had Benavidez winning the first 7 rounds. And then I gave...
6, 7. Yeah.
I think I gave Gvozdyk the last 1, 2, 3, 4.
I think he came back into it, innit? He looked a bit... although he's had a few fights, he looked a bit ring rusty.
Yeah, I mean,
he's in fantastic shape.
I give him the 12th, the 11th, the 9th, the 8th.
I give him about 4. I think one of the latter ones, I think Benavidez just had the second wind. Do you think he gassed out, or do you think he just realised I'm not ahead and then just went for the whole... I can't knock this guy out easy, so let's just...
the thing about he's got Benavidez, he has got good hand speed.
Because the first few rounds, he was fantastic.
Yeah, he's got good hand speed.
Just got boom, into it. He was better than I thought in the first... 6 rounds, definitely. He was just... Because I thought it'd be a bit more cagey, and he sort of just went at it from... I think Gvozdyk was a bit more cagey, but... Well, Gvozdyk came out quite strong as well. Like, to get him, to try and get his respect. And then Benavidez just switched it and, the body shots are fantastic. His body shots
He has got
fantastic.
great body shots. He's got a good jab. He has got fast hands.
He pulls that shot out of nowhere and boom, the hook from...
Yeah.
You can't even see a hook coming there. He's got really good timing and accuracy. His accuracy at one point, I think in the first, it was about 50% on his power shots. And he was loading up.
Yeah, I think he needs a couple more fights at this weight. It was a good test for him.
Oh, it's a very good performance.
But
I think he sort of realised that these guys are bigger. You can't bully him.
I mean...
And Gvozdyk took a few rounds to get back in it, but he finished strong. He didn't look... I think there was one body shot in about the 4th round or something. And there's I think he caught him with a left hook in the 6th or 7th in it before the sort of woke Gvozdyk up. But it was a little bit where he looked like he got a little bit buzzed. Other than that, he took punches well. I mean, he got hit hard, a lot of punches, but he took them quite well. And the thing that I liked about Benavidez was in the first bits anyway, that his defense is better than I thought, because I thought he's going to get caught more. But because normally he just goes...
Yeah, he's got...
It looked like he's learned a little bit of head movement.
He has got good defence. He's got...
Because even on the ropes, there was a bit when Gvozdyk had him when Gvozdyk was turning on, 9th or 10th round. And he'd sort of dodged most of them, it was good movement.
He's just rolling with the punches, doesn't he? I mean, he's got...
But normally he's not that... He hasn't been... Well, I don't know if he's not needed at 168, but he hasn't been that good. Go on, sorry.
He's got a lot of good, strong attributes, Benavidez. I'm not his biggest fan, but he has got a lot of attributes. I think he needs some big fights now, though. Some big tests.
Well, I agree with what you said first. I think he needs to consolidate at this weight. The problem is, the question I'm going to ask him, we had it on our build-up. On that performance, do you think he beats Bivol or Beterbiev?
No, he doesn't.
No, I don't think so.
But how old is he now?
But he's only 27.
He's a young lad. He hasn't reached his prime
He's the one
yet.
who could be there after whatever happens with them two.
And I think this fight, like I said, I wasn't overly excited about this fight. I really wasn't. But it was a good test for him.
I was wanted to see, because obviously I'm a Gvozdyk fan. I wasn't that much of a Benavidez fan. I mean, I respect him. I like his performance. But I thought at 168 he was just a bully, because really the fight there you want to see is him and Canelo. But I was quite impressed, because I thought he was going to get tagged a bit more, because I thought Gvozdyk is a good boxer. And yeah, he did get tagged, but not as much as I thought. And he took his defense was way better than what I thought. And I think that gives him a good chance, because obviously his offense is fantastic. His hand speed is, for that size guy, is ridiculous.
He has got really good hand speed.
And the combos and stuff. Although the thing that worries me is he tired, or whether that was whatever it was, it looked like he was gassing to the later rounds. And Gvozdyk,
Yeah,
I think got most
he,
of them. Gvozdyk just looked fresh at the end.
I think he put a lot of work into the first few rounds, didn't he? And that's something that'll...
Do you think the tactics were to make a statement, get him out of there?
Possibly, but...
And then he's realised that's not going to happen and then paced himself a bit more.
I think doing what he's done, I think that'll put him in good stead, though, for the future. He'll go, right, don't...
I have a question. Do you think he needs to get into better shape, though? Because if you've seen Gvozdyk's shape was fantastic.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't
and
it?
And I think if Gvozdyk was a bit younger, that would be a really, really... You know, if Gvozdyk was in his 28, 29 prime, I think that's a really, really good fight.
I mean...
I think now you could see he wasn't...
His next fight's going to be interesting on who he picks.
Do you think he should pick one of the British?
I mean, we've got 4 British lads in the top 10, haven't we? I think if he beats one of them, it makes a bigger statement.
Well, I think most of them aren't in the aren't as old as Gvozdyk, let's put it like that. Although,
no.
Yeah, I think if you pick one of them,
I mean,
I'm just looking because I think he's got a good chance because his speed.
I'm just looking now. You've got Beterbiev, Bivol, obviously.
Yeah. Let's take them out the equation. I don't think any of these
You've
are at that level yet.
Buatsi, Yard, Smith, Dan Aziz, Vosnik, Ramirez, Hutchinson. They're like your top 10. So I think...
Do you think he warms up? Well, I think Aziz is the up-and-coming one, so I'd take him out. Like, could be dangerous.
I think an Anthony Yard fight would be a good one for him.
I think you pick one of the Callum Smith, Anthony Yard,
Josh Buatsi won't fight him. But I think an Anthony Yard's a free agent as well now.
Oh, is he? Ah.
And although he hasn't...
Yard's a good test because he's athletic, big guy,
and he's got a name.
Mm-hmm.
He has got a name, Anthony Yard.
Well, his performance against Beterbiev has given him a bit more. And to be fair, he's only lost really to
top class.
And top.
But
his performance against Beterbiev was good.
That's what's...
Do you think straight away, or do you think he takes one in between and then go? Because I think Hutchison would be one, but I think
I think he has to go now
to that.
Yeah, because the thing is once Beterbiev Bivol fight, you want to be in line. If you want to
be in line for it,
if you want to fight
I'm
one
only
of them,
thinking of where he is in preparation because I think he needs a bit more better conditioning, and
he wants titles. He wants titles.
Yeah, and I think he needs to have one or two fights before he go to a Yard or a Callum Smith type level.
But I think if he wants titles sooner rather than later, he's got to fight these big boys now, so that when the winner of Beterbiev.
Well, do you think he's the best of the rest, or could be? Obviously, he's not at the moment, but it could be.
Yeah,
I think he could be. But I think that my only concern with that performance was his. Gaston and Gvozdyk was strong near the end, and he didn't really rock him. He hurt him, obviously, hit him with a lot of punches. But Gvozdyk did adjust and got better at it, and then obviously his punch output went down. So,
like I say, I think
he needs a fight to learn to pace, and he needs to get one out of there. I think that's Yard is big and strong.
His next fight is the important one on who it's going to be. I think that'll tell you where he's going to
be in that list.
what direction he's going to go.
Because he's got age on his side, and I think he needs to stay busy. So I think
got age on his side.
2 or 3 before he picks a really hard opponent.
Yeah, and he's a big name now.
Yeah.
He is a big name.
It was a good. I enjoyed that fight. That was a good performance. Because the ones before I wasn't that fond of. Like obviously Tank was good, but like this fight was a good.
Do you think he'd move back down to super middle?
I think only for Canelo, or if the belts became available.
Yeah.
I think Canelo gets out the way. I think he wins most of them. I think he's got the power to, depending on how easy it is for him to get to weight, I think he can beat most of the rest. I mean, we like Munguia. I think Munguia needs a little bit more work. He's probably got a power advantage on Munguia. But if Canelo got out the way, I think it's between them two who wins most of the belts. And then maybe if there's other up-and-comers, but I think at this one, the problem you've got, it's like we said, is like I think we both said it when it was Callum Smith's going up. The problem is you're going from Canelo's division to Bivol and Beterbiev's division. Yeah. And I can't see any of them beating them. I just think one's too skilled.
And one's just a freak of nature.
Just a beast. Because I was looking at that and thinking, if you got caught by Gvozdyk didn't really put any pop into any of his punches. He was good boxing, but it was more like amateur boxing. Where whether he's got it or not, I don't know, because of his age, or whether he was afraid of getting countered. But if that was a better behavior, you're getting hit by, you're getting caught. You ain't going to be able to take all his punches.
Do you know, I'd like to see
as good as the chin looks and his defense was, Beterbiev will get through, and Bivol is a better boxer.
I'd like to see him fight Callum Smith.
Yeah. I'd want to see him fight a few of those. I think if you want to tune up, then Hutchison, because I think he beats him relatively easily. And he's the smaller physical guy out of them. I reckon he can get him out of there. And then I think a Callum Smith or a Yard or both. I think he is ready to step.
I think he might struggle with Callum Smith.
Yeah. And Yard, I think he's got a little. I think he needs a tune up before he goes to one of them too.
Yeah. We shall see.
They're the proper size. Yeah. And Yard is a big, strong guy, and Callum Smith is a big, strong guy, and he's got a good boxer. And both of them can box a little bit.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think there's. But yeah, it was a good performance. I think even Gvozdyk was good in there for his age. Gave a good account. He didn't get knocked out. He won the last few rounds. So
definitely.
It was a good fight. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, we'll see. I'd just like to say, I think his next fight's going to be the interesting one, where he goes.
I think he'll step from there, and if they realise, I need to do my conditioning a bit, I need to pace myself a bit better. These guys aren't just going to get rolled over. You know, if the big, strong, light heavyweights, like most of them are in that division, none of them are like weak guys. All of them are big and strong. You're going to have to take some to get them out of there. I think he could do it. He just needs to consolidate it a bit more.
Yeah.
The 168 is just the problem is if he's keeping his weight for one or the other.
I don't think he can. I think
he's going to struggle. I think he needs to settle at 175 and wait for people on bet to be able to get out the way. And then he's got the age on his side to take over that division.
We shall see.
Yeah, we shall see. Okie dokie. And then let's smoothly move on to the next one. Which is the one we both got wrong. Subriel, Matias, and Liam Paro.
Wow!
I think wow! Well, I don't think that either of us had seen that much of Paro, so let's set it there.
Talk about being exposed.
Yeah,
Matias, you got exposed, mate.
Well, if you look at it, Paro started as a boxer, and you think, and that's normally what happens to Matias. He lets them fight, and Paro won the first few rounds. Then he sort of.
What did you score it then?
I had it 1, 2, 3, 4, about 8-4 or 9-3, something like that.
Oh, right, okay. Because I give Matias 2 rounds.
Yeah, I think I gave him 3, so it's probably 9-3. Well, yeah, because the point takeoff, which
2 rounds I give him.
So yeah, it was 8-4 because of the point takeoff. So I think I gave him 3. But some of them are close. It just depends what you like. I gave him because he got pressure, and there's a couple of rounds in the middle which I think he clearly won because he started catching them. And then there was one about the 6th where they showed the corner on the TV of Paro, and it looked like they were giving up. Paro looked like he was shell shocked because he got caught a bit, and he was like, and then he thought, all right, Matias is going to turn it on now, but that didn't happen. The next round was close, but I think Paro started edging and Paro started boxing again.
Yeah, I think Paro's footwork was absolutely superb.
Boxing skills was way better.
And
we didn't see any of his power, really. I was waiting for the,
He didn't let him. He did because he didn't let him.
Yeah.
He just didn't let him.
His movement is...
Paro's game plan was superb.
Yeah, I think his game plan was better than Matias's. And I think Matias is either overconfidence, whether he's been done by the pressure of fighting, home pressure, or a combination of all above. Or he's just been shown up that he's not.
No, he's just been shown up. I think he's had a bit of a hype train.
Yeah, okay.
And we
were riding that as well.
Yeah, but, I was thinking... I think if he come up against a skillful boxer, he'd get exposed. And a lot of these fighters like Matias, who've got that. They've got like an invincibility about them, haven't they? Because they're knocking everyone out or stopping everyone. And I think when they come up against a boxer, they get exposed. And I think that's what happened, is he got exposed. Because when he can't let his power punches go, what has he got?
I think his game plan was wrong. I think Paro's team got the game plan correct. I think Matias's team didn't. I think they expected him to gas out, which, like I said, he was only looked in danger a couple of those rounds where he did. When Matias had his best round, he looked like he'd shell-shocked him. And then you thought, it's going to switch now. Because he's giving him those rounds, but now it's going to, like a Tank Davis, it's going to switch. And it didn't. He didn't put the pressure on in that round. And basically then Paro brought the fight back to his style.
He didn't. He couldn't, because Paro was just one step ahead of him all the time. I mean, we had a lot of comments on our preview of this fight that Matias is the best in the division. People were asking me, you're saying he's not one of the big boys. Well, he's not. And it's just been proven. He's been beat. He's been exposed. Don't get me wrong. I think he can still compete with the top boys can he?
Well, do you think we give credit to Paro more than... Because I think Paro was, like I said, we haven't seen that much of him, so we didn't really know.
No, you do give credit to Paro?
Because I think it was his boxing skill level and IQ of the game plan was better, is what really neutralised
Let's not forget.
Because he did get caught in a couple of rounds when you seen him switched, and then he thought, okay, now it's going to go back. Like I said, most of these big punches, a la Tank's one, where you can see that they start slowly, and then they work them out, and they get the timing, and then they wear you down. And it looked like that was going to happen, but then he sort of got the...
I didn't think it was ever going to happen.
I thought it was going to happen at that point.
I was just like...
Because even his corner were like, get back to what you're doing. And they all looked like they were basically shell-shocked. He looked like he was glazed in his eyes a bit, but then he got back into it. And I think that's where Matias disappointed me, because I thought when he was getting on top, that's when he should put the pedal to the metal. And he didn't. He just carried on doing the same thing. So I think there's a letdown in whatever the game plan is, or his corner weren't telling him the right thing, as opposed to the Paro's corner, I think, did better and the game plan, and he executed it perfectly.
I think what we've got to remember is no one gave Paro a chance.
Yeah.
We didn't.
We didn't.
This is a massive, massive upset.
You see, if he'd have followed the game plan, it would have been correct. Because I said 8th round for him as well, and you said 7th. 60 was turning it. If he'd actually put his foot down, we would have been correct.
The bookies had Matias and a huge favourite. This is, like I say, this is a massive upset.
It was a huge favourite.
Like I say, I didn't really give Matias too many rounds. I was a little bit disappointed with him. Paro, I thought...
Paro deserves all the credit.
He was absolutely fantastic.
Apart from that point,
he was absolutely fantastic. His footwork was great. His shot picking was fantastic.
Well, I think he didn't go for the normal plan. I think they go against Matias where people load up. He didn't load up. He just peppered him with shots, just like neutralised him coming forward.
That's where he got exposed. Box him and you'll beat him.
Well, I think others have tried. It's just they get caught. And he didn't really get caught with anything. A little bit, but not really. And he rode them, and his defence was good.
We said, didn't we? Them Australians.
They're tough. The thing is, I expected him to be tough. I didn't expect him to be as good a boxer. I would have given that his boxing level was higher, and his IQ of it.
It's a bit
adjusted, and he made them.
It's a bit like the George Kambosos story, isn't it?
I'd say he's a better boxer than Kambosos.
Kambosos went over to the US, beat Lopez.
He executes the game plan properly.
Paro's gone over to Puerto Rico.
Well, I think even to a tougher there, his chance to win, and he had to win clearly, and he did. Good.
The world's his oyster now. He's got a mega fight next, most probably in Australia. I don't know if there's a rematch clause. There might be.
Do you think he gives all of them a good fight? I think he gives all of them a good go. It's whether he's got some power, though, because that's obviously he didn't show. It's skill level, I think he gives all of them a go.
Do you know what? You can't...
So we got Haney, we got Lopez. Who's the other one in there?
Cruz.
Yeah, Isaac Cruz. Because Cruz is sort of like the power one, but can box a bit as well. He'll get the punches through.
I don't rate Isaac Cruz at all. I don't rate Isaac Cruz at all.
Well, some of our fans don't, innit? But I think in most of his fights, he's got that style, because he's got the style like that Ball has, isn't he? Where he just keeps going forward and he can hit.
Thing is he's an Eddie Hearn fighter. Devin Haney's an Eddie Hearn fighter. Jack Cattrall's an Eddie Hearn fighter.
Oh yeah, there's Cattrall as well, isn't it? Prograis
an Eddie Hearn fighter. He's got a lot of options.
Well, I think Prograis was the one who was sort of interacting with Matias for the next fight, isn't it? But obviously that makes sense.
The young lad in my most could get a big fight in Australia against the likes of a Prograis or someone. Thing is, I think a lot of people are going to fancy beating Paro, I call him.
Paro. Liam Paro.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to fancy beating him. This kid's good.
Yeah.
He's got skills.
Well, his boxing skill, I don't think I've seen more than any of the others. I mean, Haney has got, but I think this guy's quite good as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So boxing skill is equal. Lopez has got, I think he's better, more skilled than Lopez, except Lopez has got the one punch power, the power.
But you've got to land
Cruz
that one punch power. If you don't land it.
Well, that's what Kambosos did to him. And I think he's a better boxer than Kambosos.
Yeah, if you don't land it.
Which is what surprised me. I think he was I thought he would box, but I thought Matias would win it. And I think he did. I thought that's when it started. But
I just think Matias
is disappointed with Matias.
He just.
But I think credit to Paro because what a performance in the backyard.
You know what? It wasn't
when all the odds against you, even the referee a little bit.
I wouldn't say that Matias disappointed me because it's just that Paro was better, plain and simple.
Yeah.
In pretty much all
I would
departments.
still say Matias was disappointing from what we've seen and seen before. Like I said, when he got the chance, he didn't put the pedal to the metal.
I like it. I know. I disagree.
Maybe that's credit to Paro as well.
Yeah, because I don't think Paro let him.
But I think you've still got to make it. Like a tank or a thing, he still makes you do it. The ones who are really elite make you.
Well, that was the thing with,
I don't think he, what's his name, adapted to the fight or changed his thing. Paro adapted and
but this is
on.
where we said in the preview show, this fight could make him an elite fighter. He's not.
No.
I'm sorry, he's not. He's got limitations. Yes, he can knock most of them all out. But
he's still dangerous, but I think on that he'd need to be adapt. Well, whatever it is that if he's as good, he's still dangerous. He'd need to adapt his fight.
Yeah, it could be he's started to believe his own hype that he's this knockout artist that can steamroll everyone. It happens. Now you've got to go back to gym and you've got to work even harder. Yes, you've got power. Now it's learning to set it up properly so that you make sure you're landing them punches. Because like I say, I give him 2 rounds.
Yeah.
But
that's when he should have turned it. Like your traditional puncher against the boxer, Paro had the first few rounds. Then he should have worked him out. Then he's got him because he started catching him then. And he started getting a few body shots in to slow Paro down a little bit. And he started catching him, which started to slow him down a little bit. But when he had him, when you seen him in the corner thinking, anybody, a shark should have smelt the blood and went, okay, I've got this guy now, he's injured. He wasn't as good at cutting off, for like a power puncher, cutting off the corner and then the space. Yeah. He'd just get hugged and stopped or whatever. Whenever he started again, he'd just get stopped.
That's where...
And then he'd get punched. He'd be on the ropes and Paro would just punch and out and then he's in the middle of the ring and you're like, Paro's in the middle of the ring and you're thinking, he's just switched it and he's let him off.
That's why... That's what the difference between a world-class boxer and an elite.
A world-class fisherman, and he didn't catch him.
No. So
yeah, I agree. I think that was the disappointing bit on Matias' part for me, and I think all credit to Paro because
Paro's now the world is his oyster. Massive fight next. Eddie Hearn will sort that, no doubt.
There's going to be another Australian hero. Good luck to him.
They're getting a few, aren't they?
I'd want to see him in some fights. He's
Do
very,
not
very good skill.
ever write these Aussies off. Because we keep doing and...
well, we were right last time when we looked at
Yeah, we were right with Cambosis.
We had the Ukrainian hero, but this guy...
Seriously.
Puerto Ricans over.
Do not write them off.
Okay, cool. Should we move on to the last one? This is the one I watched live and thingy.
Yeah, I watched it
and I nearly
live.
fell asleep.
I think I did fall asleep.
Chris Billum-Smith and Richard Riakporhe. I think Billum-Smith did what I expected. I think I was disappointed with Riakporhe. He got into a little bit and got a couple of rounds, but he just, the same thing, I was disappointed that he never turned it on. And he looked like he gassed.
This was
really boring.
I think we've been spoilt with boxing over
Well, the older the fights were good. This was the one that was boring.
This was one of the worst fights I've seen in a long, long time.
And we were both wrong on this one.
And I was watching the YouTube afterwards, and people say, Chris Billum-Smith wins epic war. It was not epic at all.
Epic is not the word that can be used to describe
was epic about this.
It wasn't a war. It wasn't epic. It was a good performance from Billum-Smith. It's what I expected of him.
You can't even say it was a good performance. It was
relative to the fight. It's what I expected of him for his level. That's what I expect. But I was just sat there and thinking, oh my God, Opataya would eat both of you at the same time. I thought, it's not even Opataya. Breeders at his age would destroy you both at the same time. It was that bad. I don't know whether we're overthinking there. But
Richard Riakporhe, right.
He's the one who disappointed me.
A lot of people were picking him to win this. He won the first fight when he fought. This is your world title shot, mate. Right. You're not going to get another one after this. And there's no way you left everything in that ring. Absolutely. I hate saying this. You should be disappointed in yourself. Yeah. You really should.
We're
because
disappointed in you.
Your corner were telling you, mate, you need to knock this guy out, let your hands go. You just didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the holding, I mean, I was getting... the referee should have just started taking points off left, right and centre. Chris Billum-Smith is doing all this as if to say, yeah, free, but you're leaning on, mate, so you're still hugging
we had
him.
The arm and he was like that on the side that you couldn't see.
So you were hugging as well. You both were, right, if you want to cuddle.
This is a fight, it's not a cuddling.
Jesus Christ. Chris Billum-Smith, he put a few punches together well. His game plan was really good. Just smother Riakporhe's work.
I think he did what he was going to do. I wasn't that interested in watching him, to be honest. It wasn't that great for me. But I think he did his part, his game plan he stuck to. His Riakporhe was disappointing to me because it's your world title chance.
Take it.
You've got the height and reach advantage and things. He got a little bit on his jab, but then he never did anything, like followed it up.
In the first round, he come out and he was stinging that jab and it was breaking through the guard, and I thought, nice.
Yeah, he's going to break him down.
That jab just disappeared. You weren't even throwing it.
He just got to hugging. Anytime he got going, he just got hugged and he didn't have any answer to it.
And then I think it was in like the 9th or 10th, he started pushing Chris away. And it was like, right.
Why did you do that from the first bit?
If the referee's telling you to stop pushing him, then say, well, tell him to stop leaning in. Push him away and crack him.
Yeah.
And
he never did anything.
I was like,
just like the last few rounds was just boring.
I was honestly, I was looking at the rounds going, please hurry up.
The only good thing about that fight was the atmosphere in the crowd. The fight itself was just
the
awful.
It was don't.
I'm upset we did a video on it, to be honest.
And you know what? Because
it's
the first time I've ever commented on, I think TalkSport, and I was commenting, I was like, yeah, there's no wonder Chris Billum-Smith ain't mentioning Opataya. I wonder why.
Breeders would kill both of them, and it wouldn't even be like both at the same time.
Because I tell you what, if I'm Eddie Hearn now, I'd be straight on the phone to Ben Shalom, and I'd be, right, how much to fight Chris Billum-Smith? Because Opataya will knock him clean out inside of 3 rounds.
Oh, yeah.
Chris Billum-Smith wants to go to Vegas and fight the other champion. Yeah, I wonder why. Because
Yeah.
I mean,
shall I give you something?
it's just so bad.
His punch stats. So light heavyweight, obviously Benavidez and Gvozdyk, but it's not that far from cruiserweight, right? In the punch stats, you've got the total punches landed, right? 223 for Benavidez, 163 for Gvozdyk, right? You know, there's 163 power punches from Benavidez, 108 from Gvozdyk, and 60 and 55 jabs over the 12 rounds, right?
Yeah.
Now let's give you this one in comparison. That was a good fight, enjoyable fight, right? You've got 141 punches over the whole contest from Billum Smith, 99 from Reakpore. But there's only 78 power punches, 50 and 63 jabs, and so the jabs are the same. The power punches are less than half.
It's just
and Gvozdyk's punching ratio is higher than Billum Smith's. Benavidez is, to be honest, really
it was
good,
just disappointing. It was
just disappointing.
Do you know what? The whole event,
single-figure punches in some of the rounds.
Yeah, the whole event. I was just bored through the whole event. I didn't enjoy any of the fights in it.
Well, I only watched that one and a bit of the Whittaker one. Whittaker was okay to see, but I disappointed a bit from... I mean, yeah, he's got skill, but I think it was a bit too much playing rather than...
He's going to get exposed, that kid.
You're going to get caught on something, isn't it?
Against
somebody who actually knows. And I actually give credit to his opponent who kept coming in.
I might be wrong here. I don't think Whittaker's got the power.
Well, I would have said that, but then when he actually decided to pit him in the 11th, 12th round, the 12th round, I think it was.
No, because it was only a 10-round fight.
Oh, the last round, 10-round fight. Thank God for that. It was in the last round, he hit him a little bit and you could see he got him rocked. But why didn't he do that earlier? It's too much showboating.
I get it. The showboat.
I mean, I've seen him in highlights where it looks really good, but I think over the fight, it got a bit too much. Yeah, he's got good defense. He's got really sharp. His angles are really good. But against proper fighters, you need to fight. Maybe there he was just making a show. It's fine.
Yeah, but the thing is...
The problem is you left the other guy in there and the other guy did start catching him with a few, or start hitting him and got a bit more confidence.
You can't... the showboating is part of all it.
Oh, the entertainment is
good.
It's
part of the entertainment.
But you've got to have the showboating with effectiveness.
Yeah,
and I don't know if he did it. And yeah, maybe the power thing, because that's when I was watching it, I thought he ain't got the power now to trouble really top guys.
I don't think he has.
And this guy looks big and strong.
No, I don't think he has got the power. Maybe that'll come. Because I don't think he really sits down on his shots because he's always...
It's more flashy shots.
Yeah. But you come up against...
He did a little bit, and then you've seen, maybe he has got something. But yeah, anyway.
What division
enough for that event. It was boring.
It was absolutely
Like I said,
shocking.
the best bit of it was the crowd. The rest of it was just they made a bit of noise. But other than that, it was really, really
But I don't boring. The stadium looked half empty as well, so...
And it's not that big, Sellers Park.
Whittaker's a light heavyweight, isn't he?
Yeah, that's the problem you're up against.
Yeah, go and do that against Bivol, Benavidez.
You wouldn't be able to do that against Bivol. Bivol will just destroy you.
No, Bivol would just step back and go, what are you doing, mate? Benavidez would just literally grab your hand, twist your arms off, throw them.
He catches with you one punch, you ain't going to be doing that. And I think Benavidez beats that as well.
Yeah, I think... Don't get me wrong.
I don't think he could do that against Gvozdyk.
He's a good young lad. He's got skills.
He's just learning. He's entertaining, and you can see, like you said, there's some skill there to be a good boxer. I hope he doesn't waste it.
No, and I think he needs a few tougher tests now. Really step him up now.
That he can showboat. You can do the showboat, but with effectiveness. You need to fight somebody.
And I get he's only had a few fights, but if you think this guy is what you think he is,
you need to sort of range
really
up the opposition
step him up.
And then build him up. So he's got to have tougher fights than that, really.
Now, really, really has.
But yeah, anyway.
But yeah, the card was rubbish. Hated it. Hated the whole event. Really disappointed. All the fights were rubbish. Nothing really positive to say about it.
When you get spoiled with the other fights and you look at them and you think this was just
I think as well, I was expecting a proper good British classic. And
I expected a dust up.
Just
to and fro and a bit more of it,
horrible.
and it wasn't. And yeah, but like I said, I didn't expect much more of Billum Smith. It's a Reactbury who let me down.
I think
if that's your world title, if that's the best you can do in a world title one, yeah, you don't deserve a world title.
Yeah, I don't think you'll get another chance either. Reactbury.
I don't want to watch.
Chris Billum Smith, obviously, he's a champion, so he'll get some fights unified.
Well, like I said, they're okay, but a cruiserweight, you've got Opataya. And like I said, our breeders would destroy either of them. I think he was saying afterwards, wasn't he? He wants to go over to Vegas and fight for whoever it was. Yeah, like I say, there's no wonder he's not mentioning Opataya, because I think they all know what had happened. But he might get it if it's a big enough payday. Well, I think that Opataya's game is to
win. But Ben Shalom, I don't think Ben Shalom would let him fight him. No way.
Yeah. Well, he ain't going to have his belt afterwards, is he? So let's leave it that.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much for watching, listening. Yeah, let us know in the comments what you...
Yeah, and all you Puerto Rican fans, where does Matias go now?
Yeah.
Hey, number one guy.
What excuses have we got?
Number one. About number 5 now.
Yeah, Benavidez fans, let us know what you think of that. Tank, obviously, well, yeah, he did what we said he was going to do, so it's done. Yeah, let us know what you think. Like, subscribe, and all the usual goodness.
Hit
and
that
we
bell.
will see you, in the next one. Thank you very much.